My name is Smoking Egg Currie. I'm the president, owner, mad scientist, and chef at the PuckerButt Pepper Company. And right now I'm sitting in my office talking to you, Emma.
Mhm.
And yeah, I have the very best job in the world. I couldn't make it up if I tried. I work with hot peppers and I make hot sauce and I grow hot things and I supply manufacturers all over the world with the very best pepper products there are. We have a storefront here in Fort Mill that literally is #2 on TripAdvisor. We have more people coming here than anywhere but Myrtle Beach in South Carolina. And we just have fun teaching people about the real science of hot stuff, not some of the fodder you find on the internet.
Mm. How
Yeah.
did you get into growing peppers? I did a little bit of research on you, but I didn't see anything that was like this is how I chose peppers.
Well, honestly, I started looking at peppers when my parents dropped me off at college when I was very young. I was a smart kid, but I was a troublemaker. And they dropped me off and told me I was going to die of heart disease or cancer. So I'd better do something about it. And I started researching in a place called the library because we didn't have the internet back then. And I started researching, who didn't have cancer or heart disease. And it turns out the indigenous populations all around the equatorial band have very low indices of heart disease and cancer. They all had five things in common. The only one I could standardize in a lab was capsaicin. So that's what got me started on my journey with hot peppers. Now, I was a drug addict, and an alcoholic. It took me a long time to realize that. So my interest in peppers only came up when I wanted it, you know, and I went back and forth into peppers and actually making a lot of, doing stockbroker and opening bars and restaurants and stuff. Uh, but after I got clean, I went straight back into peppers. And then I met a woman who didn't want to talk to me, but I heard she liked salsa. So I whipped up some salsa for her. She married me 9 months later, and we started the PuckerButt Pepper Company.
I mean, as much as I do want to talk about this, I think we have to talk a little bit about COVID and like what we're here to actually
Sure.
talk about. So, the first question would be basically like your day to day as a farmer, as like a big business owner, and as a small business owner. How has COVID been affecting your everyday life and your business's everyday life?
Okay. Well, see, we were because we're food service, we were allowed to remain open. Uh, but when the state said, okay, we don't no close contact, we shut our doors. Okay, because we wanted to keep people safe. And I sent 90% of my employees home and told them to stay home. But immediately our internet orders quadrupled. Okay, and they've only stayed up since then. So for I don't know, maybe the first 6 to 8 weeks uh, at the storefront, we had 3 people here every day processing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orders every single day. The post office was still running, and we have an agreement with the post office where we deliver to the back straight into where the mail trucks go. So we practice social distancing with them. I actually, I don't know if anybody mentioned it to you guys, but I went through a hip replacement during this. I had to isolate with my family, and I got to taste what they had been going through the whole time I had been coming up to work. Like when I came home, all my clothes came off. I washed from head to toe, and I sanitized with alcohol, and I brushed my teeth, and I was swabbing my nose with a MRSA disinfectant. We were doing all the things that we needed to protect our family. But I really didn't realize how it was to be at home the whole time until I had to isolate for my surgery and then had the surgery. And that had to be tough on the vast majority of people who weren't able to go out. Uh, so I have empathy and sympathy for all those involved, from home all the way through business to big business. Uh, a lot of my friends are out of business because they couldn't make it through the lockdowns on COVID. They hadn't planned, or what they planned for just did not cover everything that happened. So we've tried our best. Like, one of the things we do here is we order from other hot sauce companies, not just people who do business with us, but people who are our friends, or who are good people who aren't our friends, you know, to try to help keep them in business. And through this whole thing, I've been running a sale on everybody's products, essentially selling it for what they sell it to me for instead of making a profit, just so I can reorder and keep them in business. Uh, and it's worked really well, and it's been well received in the community. And I found that our family has grown closer together. Uh, my wife and I are closer than we've ever been, in my opinion, because we're spending more time together. Instead of me doing 16 hours at work and her being at her job, now she works with me, and me and the kids are doing more stuff, and my family here at PuckerButt, we're closer together. It's just, even though it's been a rough thing for the nation as a whole and for the world as a whole, individually, and I hear it over and over again from all the different people I talk to, it's been a good thing spiritually. Okay.
And one of my last questions, which would be like, what have you learned about yourself? What can you take out from this experience of being in quarantine, of having to readjust your lifestyle and kind of be more accommodating?
Well, it's what I've learned is I'm not as important as I think I am. Okay. Which is being in recovery. That's a daily reminder, but this has really let me know that the things that I think are important in my life aren't really what's important in my life. What's important in my life is my relationship with my family, my relationship with my God, my relationship with my community, how I interact with one another, how I respect other people. Okay. Uh, you know, I I truly believe my kids had COVID in early February. We took them to the doctor. They said, "Oh, don't worry, it's pneumonia," but they had all the symptoms. Okay. They treated them with what most times you see on TV they're treating people with. All right. So my doctor and I believe that the reason I test negative for COVID is because I probably already been exposed to it. Okay. But I have to respect, uh, I don't like wearing those masks. Okay. I don't like it. I do when other people are wearing them, because I have to respect the fact that they might have a fear that I'm just not conscious of, you know? So it's made my view of my world not so tight and self-centered, but more expanded. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And you have to think about, the smaller businesses that you have been helping, which is
Yeah.
an absolutely amazing outcome.
Yeah. Well, some people think it's silly. Some people think it's self-promoting. Some accountants might say, "Why are you spending the money?" But in the long run, it's going to be better for everybody. Okay, everyone, and we got to consider the big picture, not the little picture. Because if I say centered in Fort Mill here, sure, I can have a successful business, and I can take care of a lot of people, and I can take care of this little community. But if I look at the bigger picture, my God might have a plan for me somewhere I'm not even thinking of. Okay. And that's part of what COVID has done to the consciousness of everybody I know.
The Echo Foundation was created by Nobel Peace Laureate Elie Wiesel and family therapist Stephanie Ansaldo to promote justice, tolerance, and humanity at home and abroad. Based in Charlotte, North Carolina, Echo enlists notable humanitarians to inspire the next generation of humanitarians through student-led initiatives. For more information about the Echo Foundation, visit www.echofoundation.org or follow our Facebook and Instagram pages.